They say love conquers all, that if there's love, everything else falls into place, that if two people truly love each other, desire, passion, and connection will flow naturally. But what happens when that doesn't happen? What if two people love each other, care for each other, respect each other? But desire fades. What if you love someone but don't desire them? Or what if you desire someone who doesn't make you feel safe, but ignites something in you like no one else? Esther Perel, Belgian psychotherapist and one of the world's most revolutionary voices on relationships, invites us to break away from traditional ideas. Because it's not that love kills desire, but that love which is too predictable, too controlled, and too fused ends up suffocating it. Since we were little, we were taught that true love solves everything, that once we find the right person, everything will just flow: sex, intimacy, safety, chemistry, and that if it doesn't, then something must be wrong with the relationship, or with us. But Perel confronts us with an uncomfortable truth. Love and desire don't always go well together. Love needs closeness, care, routine. Desire needs mystery, space, a touch of uncertainty. And when we try to have it all in just one person, our best friend, lover, emotional partner, symbolic parent, protector, very often what is sacrificed is desire. To understand it, we have to stop thinking of desire as something automatic. Desire isn't just physical, it's psychological, emotional, and symbolic. It doesn't appear just because there's love. In fact, many times it fades because there's too much of that love in a way that suffocates it. These are some of the most common reasons Perel explains. 1. Too much closeness. At the beginning of a relationship, there's a beautiful tension between the known and the unknown, between I'm getting to know you and I want more of you. But over time, many couples become so emotionally fused that the necessary distance for desire to exist disappears. Perel calls it the paradox of desire. We want intimacy, but desire needs space. Desire doesn't grow from what we already have secured, but from distance, novelty, and mystery. 2. Desire can't stand routine. Long-term love requires habits, coordination, commitment, structure, but desire feeds on the opposite: the unexpected, play, surprise. When a couple falls into autopilot, where every day feels the same, desire doesn't die from lack of love, but from too much predictability. 3. Parental or asymmetrical roles. Perel often talks about how in long-term relationships, one or both partners begin to play the role of mother or father rather than lover. This happens when there are emotional imbalances, dependency, or one person becomes the emotional caretaker of the other. And of course, no one desires their mother. No one desires someone they have to constantly look after, or someone who takes care of them like a child. 4th, absence of individuality. Desire also arises when we see the other person from a distance, when we admire them in their own world, with their talents, with their independence. But if the couple loses their individual lives, if everything is shared, if there are no separate spaces or moments to miss each other, desire fades. Admiration is an aphrodisiac, says Perel, and admiration requires some distance. 5. Guilt, repression, and inner taboos. Many people grew up with very limiting ideas about desire, that it's dirty, dangerous, or that it doesn't belong in a serious relationship. That good sex only happens at the beginning, or when something is forbidden. And when they finally find someone who gives them emotional safety, guilt shows up. How can I desire someone who takes such good care of me? What if I lose this love by giving in to desire? Can we not have it all then? Yes, we can. But we don't have everything at once and without emotional work. The mistake isn't trying to find love and desire in the same person. The mistake is thinking that once we have it, it will sustain itself on its own. How to recover desire without losing love. Esther Perel doesn't offer magic formulas, but she does suggest ways to reconnect desire with emotional connection. 1. Reclaim individuality. Go back to being two different people who choose each other, not one fused entity. That means reclaiming your own space, doing things on your own, rediscovering yourself as someone with a life outside the relationship. When you see your partner living something that doesn't involve you, when you see them shine without you, something essential reappears. Mystery. 2. Step out of the carer role. If you're playing the role of emotional mother, home manager, organizer of the universe, it's unlikely you'll have erotic energy left. And if your partner is disconnected, infantilized, or too dependent, desire will fade as well. Rebalancing roles, reclaiming autonomy, and making room for play is key. 3. Open up to play, fantasy, and humor. Desire doesn't grow in pressure or duty. It comes alive in lightness, laughter, play, symbolic rebellion. A couple that laughs together, that can talk about their desires without fear, that dares to explore without judgment, has a much better chance of keeping passion alive. 4. Create spaces for healthy tension. Being together doesn't mean being glued to each other. Desire needs something to remain unresolved, something not fully revealed, something still to discover. Taking time to miss each other, to reconnect with a different gaze, to see your partner as if you didn't fully know them, reignites the spark. 5. Talk about sex without only talking about sex. Many couples only talk about sex when there's already a problem. But eroticism needs conversations that don't only revolve around performance or frequency. We need to talk about what excites us, what makes us uncomfortable, what scares us, what we'd like to try, even if we never do. Just talking about it is already erotic. Esther Perel suggests we stop measuring the quality of a relationship by how constant or stable it is, and start looking at how alive it feels. A relationship doesn't die when there's a crisis. It dies when desire, interest, playfulness and presence disappear. Love needs roots, desire needs wings. Love needs stability, desire needs movement. Love nurtures. Desire explores. And if we can hold that creative tension between both, then yes, we truly can have it all. What can you do today? Stop blaming yourself for losing desire. It's not a lack of love. Look at your patterns. Are you losing yourself in the relationship? Reclaim your own space. Be interesting to yourself. Speak openly about what you desire, without shame. Allow yourself to play. Make mistakes, be surprised, and above all, don't kill the space that desire needs just to hold on to the idea of total love. Maybe it's not about loving more, but about loving differently. Maybe desire doesn't disappear from lack of affection, but from lack of space to breathe. And you need to breathe too.